Alright, what's up? What's going on, guys? Toasty here, Get Burnt. Today I'm going to be talking more about Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a video just about the Jump Festa Bandai Namco interview with Masayuki Hirano, the same guy that has been doing all the Xenoverse interviews for a while. And this one is by J-Patrol, so I'm going to be linking their channel down below because they are the ones who interviewed this. And, you know, if you want to actually watch the video where they actually interviewed Masayuki Hirano, it is on that channel, so make sure you go subscribe to that channel, whatever. It's really cool. Treevax is actually a part of it, so, you know, if that persuades you at all, then maybe you can go and subscribe to that channel. But today I'm going to be reading out all of the questions and answers, just in case any of you are out of the loop and don't want to have to watch another video just to watch this video. But I'm going to be talking about every single question, say what I think about the question, and yeah, so let's get started with this because there's quite a few questions, so I don't want this video to drag on for too long. Alright, first question. Great Ape Vegeta was recently revealed to be in Xenoverse. Are there any other giants making their way into the game? Hirano said nothing. Well, he said that he had nothing to say, but it was mentioned that players will be able to fight against Great Ape versions of Vegeta and Nappa in the story and co-op quests. So pretty much, so far we know that they are boss battles in the story mode, but we don't know if they're going to actually end up being any more in the game. Although the thing is that I remember when the scan of Vegeta as a Great Ape first came out, I believe, we saw two silhouettes. One was Bardock and one was Nappa, and it was set in stone. You could tell that was Bardock and Nappa who were said to become Great Apes as well. And now we've seen Nappa as a Great Ape, but we haven't seen Bardock. And I would assume that it's going to be somewhat like Battle of Z in the fact that it has a Bardock battle by itself, and I won't have a problem with that. I'm just saying that I want to see some Bardock Great Ape in this game, and I just can't wait to see it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I really have to say for that question. It's just like Great Ape Vegeta and Great Ape Nappa are there. That's really awesome. Great Ape Nappa we haven't seen since Budokai Tenkaichi 3, even though Great Ape Bardock was in, not Xenoverse, Great Ape Bardock was in Battle of Z. It's nice to see him again to make a return. So yeah, I can't wait to see actual Great Ape Bardock stuff, but yes, that's just it so far. We can only fight them in story and co-op quest missions. We don't have any information about them being playable. Alright, next question. In a past V-Jump scan, it showed a giant custom Namekian. Is this something that players can transform into? He said no, players will not be able to transform, but they can customize the body type when they're creating their character. So this is something that I actually made a video about a while ago. I said giant Namekians are seeming to be confirmed because, you know, the picture of the Namekian was appearing to be a giant Namekian. A lot of people said it was actually perspective, and a lot of people said that it was just a bigger body type. And I thought, you know, really, like, I thought that, you know, obviously it could actually just be perspective or anything because they didn't really say anything about it in the scan. They just had it as a screenshot. And sadly, it's true. We cannot make our we can technically make our Namekians giant somewhat, at least as big as the one that was in that screenshot, but we cannot have giant Namekians as a transformation, which is kind of a bummer, but, you know, I really don't have a huge problem with it, at least. Like, I mean, honestly, I just don't care that much about that. But yeah, it would have been nice to have them in the game, but, you know, I guess that they just weren't meant to be. Next question. Will the story mode include 3 main Dragon Ball GT chapters featuring Baby, Super 17, and Lee Shenron, also known as Sin Shenron? It says the game focuses on Dragon Ball Z mainly, but the GT characters will be revealed, and developer Dims is looking at ways to implement the story through avenues such as DLC. So I've heard quite a few things about this from Rhymestyle and everything like that, saying that they are planning to make all of the GT arcs for Dragon Ball Xenoverse story, aka including Toho and Mira, as DLC. And I think that this is a great idea because story DLC, you're getting your money's worth. If they even charge like $15, if I like Xenoverse, I'm probably going to pay for that because, you know, it's awesome, and I just want to see GT done in a game with story mode again because we haven't gotten that since, like, we have not gotten that at all since Budokai Tenkaichi 3. So it would be nice to see GT in some form or some way of a story mode. And I'm just happy to see this. And since they actually do have the characters of GT in the game, we haven't seen any actual, like, Baby yet. We haven't seen any Great Ape Baby or anything like that, which he was in Sergio's list, which is funny because apparently if Great Ape Baby's in the game, that means that they might be planning on having a Great Ape Baby boss battle in a GT arc later in DLC. So I think that sort of thing will be amazing. So let's just hope, although since it wasn't the beta, that most likely means that it will also be on the disc, which is kind of annoying. But, you know, whatever. If it's GT arcs, I really don't care. It's not a huge problem to me, but, you know, whatever. But yeah, so they're planning on doing GT stuff through DLC in the future, which I have no problem with, really. The game mainly is focused on Dragon Ball Z, so I would expect them to try and put the GT stuff in later. Maybe, who knows, it's not finished yet. Maybe they just have the characters in and they don't actually have the actual, all the other stuff for the GT arcs finished, and they're just focusing on Dragon Ball Z for the rest of the development. I don't know. I don't work at DIMS, but yeah, that's pretty much it for that question. Next question. How many playable characters will be included from the world of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT? The specific number cannot be announced yet, but there will be a lot. So really, we just only get the lot. We don't know how much there actually is going to be. I'm estimating around 80 to 90 or 90 to 100 characters. That's just where I'm saying. A lot of people are saying, we're asking if 126 characters were already confirmed. No, it wasn't. It was just in the beta that they had a certain amount of list slots for all of the actual character placements, and it showed 126. Doesn't mean that there's going to be 126. Doesn't mean that there's going to be a significant less amount than 126, but I doubt that they're going to be going over 100. But that's just my opinion, especially since, honestly, for me, if it's 90 to 100 or 80 to 90, I honestly have no problem with it, because the character creation is such a big part of the game that I'm not going to be using the other characters that much besides videos and just, you know, messing around. So honestly, I'm happy with it. I don't really have a huge problem with it. If that's how many characters there actually are, it's more than Raging Blast 2, and it seems like they're not going to be putting in some very unimportant characters like Raging Blast 2 did by putting in like Salza and all of the other cooler henchmen and all that stuff, like people who I didn't really care to play as. So, you know, I'm happy with it if that's all the characters that they actually have. But yeah, that's just what it seems to be. I think that it's going to be 80 to 90, but we don't know yet. He just said there's going to be a lot. So yeah. Next question. When will the entire roster of characters be revealed? At release. So they're not doing the same thing that Battle of Z did, where they released the actual character roster before the game came out, which, you know, it's kind of a bummer, because I actually kind of wanted to see all of the characters on the list, make a video for that, talk about all the characters and everything. But I guess, you know, we're gonna have to wait till release to actually see all the characters. I was planning on doing a video of showing all the characters in the select screen after I unlock them and all that stuff, so it really isn't gonna be that much different. Although I feel kind of sad that we're not going to be able to see a list online before the game actually comes out, or in a scan or anything like that. Maybe January's V-Jump, I would assume that they would have put all of the characters in there and show this is the full roster for Dragon Ball Xenoverse and all that stuff, but I guess not. So I guess we'll have to wait till release. But next question. How many stages will the game have? He said more than 20. So in the actual beta, we actually had 24 stages listed on screen, which is a safe assumption to how much there will probably be, since whenever they say more than something in any interview or any on the back of boxes as well for games and stuff, they say you have more than 70 characters, most likely like 70 to 75. It's never going to be like 79 and it's going to be like, oh, more than 70 characters. They'd probably be like more than 75 characters or something like that. So, or almost 80 characters. They always do that, so it's most likely going to end up being around 24. If not, it is going to actually be 24, which means that that was actually right, which is something to wonder about, since if that's right, maybe they're actually right about the characters and how many characters actually will be in the game, but we have no idea. So 126 characters, I'm just saying, is going to be the biggest since Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Even though Budokai Tenkaichi 3 did have more, technically, we are going to be getting characters that are somewhat different, and at least we're going to be getting a good amount of characters anyway. Even if it's 100, we're still getting a good amount of characters, and hopefully they won't be padding it like with very unimportant characters, because honestly, characters like Jaco and stuff like that, they're fun, they're cool, but honestly, I would have rather had someone else who was more important from Dragon Ball Z or something else like that in the game. So I just hope that they don't like pad it out with like unimportant characters that we really don't care about. Just hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, next question. In the Xenoverse stream by Bandai Namco America a few weeks ago, Frieza's forms were separate characters instead of transformations, with 2 forms missing. Will this be the case in the final game? He said yes, Frieza can't transform, and neither can Cell or Buu. So he didn't answer the first question. He didn't answer about Frieza's forms missing. I sincerely doubt that they're actually going to be not having Frieza's other forms in the game, but we do know now that we cannot transform with Frieza's character as well as Cell or Buu. And that's kind of bad news for some people, because a lot of people will instantly put this with the character creation and saying, okay, so you can't transform as Frieza, or you can't transform as the Buu. That means you probably can't transform as Majin or as the Frieza race in the full game for the character creation. And this is a very probably true assumption. I would say that this is most likely what it's going to be. You can't transform as Frieza's race or whatever. And a lot of you are probably gonna ask, then why was Cooler's form confirmed in the live stream a few weeks ago as well? Well, Cooler's form was thought to be just how you can actually change your character from the beginning. You can actually change your character to look like that without actually needing to transform in anything. That's why he was in like that in the actual hub world. So I guess that it's not going to be that big of a deal if you could change your character body type. The only thing that makes me wonder is that Majins, male Majins, have been confirmed to not be able to make themselves look like a Kid Buu, which kind of makes me a little bit sad, because I honestly wanted to have something like that, a Kid Buu sort of thing, or at least a transformation of it, just like it was in Dragon Ball Online, because in Dragon Ball Online, you could have transformed into a Kid Buu-like form whenever you wanted with your Majin character, and now it seems like you can't do that, which kind of is a little bit of a bummer. But yeah, that's just it for that. I guess that it's a little bit sad. I mean, Cell, really, I don't have a huge problem with that. I never really often play as Cell's first or second form. I usually play as Perfect Cell if I'm ever playing as Cell usually, so it's not really a huge problem for me there, although the Frieza and Buu kind of make me a little bit sad. They could have done it the way they did it in Burst Limit, in my opinion, where Frieza really doesn't like do a long drawn out transformation like he does in Raging Blast and stuff, where he just like instantly transforms. Or they could have done it like in the Budokai games, where actually Frieza goes into a sphere, or like a big purple sphere, and then he instantly transforms. They could have done that, or they could have done the Burst Limit way, which I don't know why they didn't make it transformations. I guess that they just couldn't do it, or they just didn't want to do it. You know, I'm not gonna like hammer on Dims for that. I mean, I guess it's their decision. If they didn't want to do it or they couldn't do it, there was some limitation. I don't really know. I'm not a game developer, so yeah, that's it for that question. Next question. Will there be any characters of costumes from the up-and-coming Dragon Ball Z 2015 movie Revival of F, aka Revival of Frieza? They said Bandai Namco is listening to the fans' desires, but it has not been decided yet. So pretty much we don't know. Maybe there will be DLC of those character costumes. Gohan, Goku, Vegeta. Those are the main people that have different costumes, at least that we've seen so far. So those are pretty much the ones that I'm going to be rooting for. Even though I personally don't like Gohan's new outfit that much, it'll be still cool to have that outfit in the game to play as. So, you know, just have that as well. Please just make sure to also put that in character creation. Just please, like, let us use those costumes for character creation as well, because that would be amazing. I would love to use Vegeta's new, like his new vest as my own created character's sort of vest. So that'd be great. I just want to say that. Just please put it in character creation as well. That'd be great. Alright, next question. Jaco the Galactic Patrolman has been confirmed as a playable character in the Japanese version of Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Will he make his way to the game in other territories? Yes, he will be in the game, but the avenue to make him available has not been decided yet. So pretty much we don't know if he's going to be available with every copy of the game or not, or if he's just going to be like some sort of free download code or something like that. We don't really know. We don't know how it's going to be. I would assume with the day one edition he's going to be definitely a character like for free easily. I don't think that they would make him a pre-order bonus. At least they haven't said that he's a pre-order bonus. They just put him as a free piece of content for the game for anyone who buys it. So I would assume that it's going to be the same for the rest of the world, and if it isn't, that's kind of rude. Please, Namco Bandai, don't screw us over. But yeah, that's it for that question. Next question. Will characters actually be able to transform into Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3? Characters can go Super Saiyan 2 but not Super Saiyan 3. Implementing Super Saiyan 3 will be the next challenge for Dimps, and that's it. So a lot of people are going to be wondering, oh, but I thought Super Saiyan 3 was pretty much confirmed. It was in development. It is, and it's kind of weird how they're saying that Super Saiyan 3 is the next thing, or the next challenge for Dimps. I don't know. Maybe the game actually won't come out with Super Saiyan 3, and Super Saiyan 3 will come out later down the line, maybe around summer. They'll probably put in like a Super Saiyan 3 DLC or something like that, or I don't know, something along those lines, where you have Super Saiyan 3 for your Super Saiyan, or for your Saiyan characters. And yeah, I don't know. I guess that could be what they're trying to do. I'd feel like they would actually be just balancing it right now, because honestly, that just seems like something they would just try and balance so that the Super Saiyan 3 doesn't make everybody overpowered, but who knows. But yeah, as I said before, I don't work at Dimps, so I really don't know. But yeah, that's it for that question. Next, will the android race be available like Cell in Xenoverse? So this is a lot of what a lot of people wanted to actually ask, and a lot of people wanted the answer to this, and the answer is no. But some, not all, of the elements can be reproduced with races available in the game. This is exactly what Rhymestyle and I said. You could pretty much recreate an android how you want with a human. Obviously, they're not actually androids, but you could still have all of the actual, like, things of an android, all of the actual traits of an android in a human. So it really isn't a huge thing unless you really care about the charging up thing, which, you know, it's an item in the game, so, or not item, but it's a slot in the game, so if you don't want to charge up, you can just not put it on your character. So, you know, that's just it. I would have liked to sell android race sort of thing, but honestly, if they're not going to put it in, I just don't. It's not going to be a huge thing for me. I had that idea back a while ago, and I just made a video about it. A lot of people now are expecting it from Xenoverse, saying, "Oh man, no android race. Wow, Dimps, you're messing up, man. I hate you." It's like, it was never promised. We've always had 5 races, and that's all it was. Humans, Saiyans, Namekians, Majins, and Frieza's race. And that's the only races that are going to be in the game. So I have no problem with that, because that's already 5 races that I could pick from. I don't really have a problem with that, and a lot of people do, but, you know, that's just people. I don't know. A lot of people like to complain. But that is it for this interview. So I'm going to be talking about my just basic thoughts. All right, so for the first question, I just want to see Grade 8 Nappa, not Nappa, Bardock. I just want to see him in the game because, you know, he's awesome, and I just want to see him. And for the next one, I'm kind of sad that Giant Namekians aren't in the game, but it's not a huge thing for me. Next question. Will story will include Dragon Ball GT characters or chapters? I'm fine with this. I'm fine with DLC being the story element things for Toa and Mira messing up the GT timeline. That would be really interesting because a lot of people don't like GT's story to begin with. So it'd be cool to see how GT's story can be changed. Maybe Goku doesn't even turn into a kid or something like that. I don't know. Something like that would be really cool to see. And I just can't wait to see that. Whoa, what if your character actually... Well, I don't know about your character, but what if, like, Goku gets taken over by Baby instead of Vegeta? That would be actually really interesting. I would like to see something like that. So I hope that they implement it, and implement it well when they make that DLC. Next, how many playable characters? Obviously, for these 2 questions, how many playable characters will be? I think it's going to be 8 to 100. And for the character roster being revealed at release, it's not a huge thing for me. I just kind of wanted to see the roster before release, but I guess not. How many stages will be? More than 20. I'm fine with there being more than 20. I have no problem with that. That's cool. Then the next one, that all Cell and Frieza and Boo transformations are separate. I honestly have no problem with that. Not a huge problem with that, at least. A lot of people do, but, you know, that's just it. I have no real problem with it. I just don't know. It's just not a huge thing for me. The character creation thing kind of is a little bit of a sad thing, but, you know, whatever. Next, will there be a transformation? I just hope that they allow us to use these costumes for character creation. I just want to wear Vegeta's new vest in the movie on my created character. That's just all I'm going to say for that. Jaco, hopefully he's just a free piece of, not DLC, a free piece of content for everybody in the world. Hopefully they don't make everybody, well, make the others pay while Japan gets it for free. That's kind of hurtful. But yeah, will the characters be able to transform into Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 3? I think Super Saiyan 3 is still in development. I think it's either going to be DLC or it's actually going to come out with the game itself, and they're just not telling us. And the Android race, I honestly don't care a huge amount, because it's just, it was never expected of me. I never expected a Android race to come to fruition because, you know, it wasn't something that was probably planned for the game in its hindsight. So I don't know, a lot of people are mad about that, but I'm just not. So that's it for this video, guys. This video was kind of long, and I kind of am sorry for that because, geez, man, it's like I try to make it short, but it's like it's always long, and I apologize. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you stuck to the end, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys later with more Dragon Ball Xenoverse stuff. And yeah, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already to become a Super Saiyan. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button down there, destroy it. And yeah, that's all I gotta say for today, guys. Merry Christmas, have a happy holiday, and a happy New Year. And that's all I gotta say for today, guys. See you guys later. Peace out.